I thought I was settling for second best, so I destroyed my marriage in search of something more exciting. Now, the man I mocked as boring is thriving with someone new, and I'm the one nobody wants. I'm Ashley, 32, and I'm about to tell you how I went from having a perfect marriage to being completely undateable. Honestly, this whole thing is so messed up because I did everything right, or at least that's what everyone kept telling me when I married Devin. You know those nights when you're lying in bed, scrolling through Instagram, and you see your ex living his best life? That's me every single night, watching Jace's stories with his perfect family, while Devin snores next to me like everything's fine. Devin's a great guy, everyone keeps reminding me of that, especially my mom, who practically shoved me down the aisle 3 years ago. Ashley, you're not getting any younger, she'd say, as if being 29 was basically ancient. Devin's an engineer, he adores me and he's ready to settle down. But here's the thing, I wasn't ready. I was still getting over Jace, who I dated for 4 years before he got his ex pregnant, during what he called a moment of weakness. We were on a break, but still, that should have been me. We had this electric connection that made everything feel alive. With Devin, it's just comfortable, safe, boring. Don't get me wrong, Devin's the guy every girl's mom dreams about. He makes 6 figures, remembers every anniversary, even the small ones, and literally built us a custom walk-in closet in our townhouse. My friends keep saying I hit the husband lottery, but they don't understand what it's like to settle for your second choice, to walk around pretending you're living your dream life when really, you're just living someone else's. Last week, I was out with my friend Madison and she showed me Jace's LinkedIn. He just made partner at his firm. Meanwhile, Devin's excited about some boring project at his engineering company that he won't shut up about. I pretend to care, but inside I'm screaming, this isn't the life I was supposed to have. I was meant for something more exciting than movie nights and farmers market Sundays. Devin tries so hard, and sometimes that makes it worse. Like yesterday, he surprised me with breakfast in bed, avocado toast and my favorite cold brew, all perfectly arranged, with a little flower he picked from our garden. 3 years ago everyone said I was so lucky, now I just feel suffocated by his perfection. At least Jace kept me guessing. With Devin, the biggest surprise is whether he'll suggest Thai or Italian for date night. I keep thinking about what my mom said at my bachelorette party. You'll learn to love him, as if love is something you can learn like riding a bike, or making sourdough bread. I thought she was just being dramatic, but now I'm starting to realize what she meant. She knew I was settling, everyone did, they just thought I'd get over it. The worst part. Devin looks at me like I'm everything he's ever wanted. Meanwhile, I'm lying here wondering if Jace ever thinks about what could have been. Devin's all about our future. He's already talking about house hunting in better school districts, like that's supposed to get me excited. Jace would never be caught dead discussing school districts. He was all about spontaneous trips and wild nights out. I know what you're thinking. I sound like an ungrateful brat, and maybe I am, but you try living a life that feels like a backup plan. Try smiling through dinner parties where everyone talks about how lucky you are, while you're dying inside. Devin deserves someone who thinks he's their first choice. I just can't pretend anymore that that person is me. Things finally snapped at Mackenzie's housewarming party last Saturday. She just bought this gorgeous townhouse in the nice part of town, the kind of place Devin keeps saying we should look at, as if that's going to fix anything. I was already in a mood because earlier that day Jace had posted pictures with his wife and kid at some fancy resort in Cabo, the same resort he and I always talked about going to. I started drinking before we even got to the party. Devin gave me that concerned look he always does, like he's my father or something. Maybe slow down a bit, Ash, he tried, taking my wine glass when we got there and I nearly lost it. I'm a grown woman. I don't need his permission to have a good time. The party was full of our usual crowd, all these perfectly matched couples, living their perfect lives. Madison was there with her new boyfriend Chase, who's basically Jace 2.0, all confident and ambitious. Then there's Devin, standing in the corner talking about home renovation with Mackenzie's husband like some kind of HGTV dad. After my 4th glass of wine, Madison made some comment about how Devin's such husband goals, because he was helping clean up a spill in the kitchen. That's when I lost it. Husband goals. I laughed way too loud. You want a guy who's more concerned about cleaning than having fun? Who thinks a wild night is trying a new recipe? The room got quieter but I couldn't stop. The wine, the Cabo pictures, everyone's perfect little lives, it all came pouring out. You know what's not husband goals? A guy with a small dick and no balls who apologizes for everything. A guy who'd rather watch House Hunters than actually live a little. Devin was standing right there in the kitchen doorway. Everyone was staring at me, but all I could see was his face. For the first time ever, he didn't try to laugh it off or make excuses for me. He just set down the cleaning supplies and walked out, not dramatically or anything. Just quietly, like he was taking out the trash. Mackenzie tried to play it off, saying I was just drunk. Madison pulled me aside and whispered, "What the hell is wrong with you?" But I wasn't done. I grabbed my phone and started comparing Devin to Jace right there in front of everyone, how Jace was spontaneous and exciting while Devin was just safe, the backup plan. I ended up taking an Uber home because Devin left without me, another first. He's always been the one to take care of me, to make sure I get home safe. I drunk texted Jace on the way home, something stupid about missing our adventures. He read it, and never replied. When I got home, Devin was sleeping in the guest room, not even a note, not even a fight, just this silence that felt worse than any screaming match. I thought he'd come apologizing in the morning, like he always does when I mess up, but he didn't. He just got up, made his coffee, and left for work without saying a word. The thing is, part of me wanted him to yell, to show some kind of passion or anger. Anything would have been better than this quiet disappointment. But that's Devin, always taking the high road, always being the better person, and somehow that makes me feel even worse. It's been a week since the party, and everyone's acting like I'm the bad guy. Madison left me on red when I tried to explain my side. Mackenzie sent this long paragraph about how concerned she is about me, like she's some kind of therapist. Even my mom called to tell me she raised me better than this. Better than what? Being honest, Devin's still sleeping in the guest room. He comes home late from work now, probably avoiding me. When he is home, he's weirdly calm about everything. Yesterday morning, I tried picking a fight about him leaving dishes in the sink, anything to get a reaction. He just quietly washed them and went to work, no defense, no argument, nothing. It's like living with a ghost. I ran into Jace's sister at Target, of all places. She gave me this look, and I knew he'd heard about what happened. Apparently, news travels fast when you humiliate your husband in front of all your mutual friends. She made some comment about how Jace dodged a bullet with me, as if she has any right to judge. Her brother's the one who got someone pregnant while we were on a break. Devin suggested marriage counseling last night. Can you believe that? Like I'm the one who needs fixing. He sat there at our kitchen island, all calm and rational, saying we need professional help to work through our issues. I told him the only issue is that he's turned into this boring, passive husband, who'd rather talk about feelings than actually live life. The worst part is how everyone's taking his side. These are the same friends who used to stay up with me all night talking about how settling down is overrated. Now they're all about growing up and being mature. Madison even had the nerve to bring up how Devin helped her move last year, and how he's always been there for everyone. So what? Being nice doesn't make you exciting. I tried going out with my single friends from work to blow off steam, but even that backfired. They kept telling me how lucky I am to have a guy like Devin. Sarah even said her Hinge matches would kill for a chance with a successful engineer who actually wants to commit. They don't get it. They're still in that phase where they think finding a good guy solves everything. This morning, Devin left a note about couples therapy appointments he booked, like that's going to fix anything. He's missing the point. I don't want to fix this version of our life. I want the excitement back. I want to feel alive again. I want someone who doesn't need therapy to know how to keep things interesting. I did something stupid last night. After 2 glasses of wine, I texted Jace asking if he ever thinks about us, about what could have been if timing had been different. He replied this time, just 3 words, I'm happily married. That hit harder than Devin's silence somehow. I ended up scrolling through our old photos until 3 a.m., wondering how I ended up here in this perfect on-paper life that feels like a prison. Things got real last night. Devin found the dating app on my phone. I tried telling him I just downloaded it to look, that I was curious about what's out there. He didn't even get angry. That's what kills me. He just sat there on our couch, staring at his hands like they held some answer, and asked if I ever really loved him. Of course I loved him, love him, whatever. But how do you explain to someone that loving them isn't always enough, that sometimes you can love someone and still feel like you're suffocating? I tried telling him about how trapped I feel, how I need more excitement, more passion. He just nodded like he was in some business meeting. Then he dropped the bomb. He saw my texts to Jace, all of them, not just the recent ones, but the ones from months ago, the thinking of you messages, the late night remember when texts. Devin hadn't said anything, just quietly watched me dig our marriage's grave, one text at a time. Part of me wishes he'd thrown something, screamed, shown that he cared enough to be angry. Instead, he just asked if Jace made me happier. I couldn't answer. How do you tell your husband that you've spent 3 years measuring him against a memory, that every time he does something sweet, some part of you wishes it was someone else? Devin took my silence as an answer and went upstairs to pack a bag. That's when I panicked. Suddenly, the reality of him actually leaving hit me. I followed him upstairs, watching him methodically pack, like this was just another business trip. I started listing all the things he'd miss, our Sunday brunches, the way I organize his closet, how I always remember to DVR his favorite shows. He just kept packing. I'm going to stay with my brother for a while, he said, like he was commenting on the weather. I think we both need space to figure out what we want. What I want is to feel something. Even now, he's leaving like some mature adult while I'm standing here wanting to scream. The house feels massive without him here. I keep waiting for him to text to check in like he always does, but there's nothing. His toothbrush is gone from our bathroom. His side of the closet is half empty. Even his stupid protein shakes are gone from the fridge. It's like he's ghosting me in slow motion. Madison called earlier. Apparently, Devin reached out to her husband about getting his golf clubs from the garage. She tried giving me this whole speech about how marriage takes work, about how the grass isn't greener on the other side. Easy for her to say. She didn't settle for her backup plan. She got her first choice. I decided to put myself out there last week. Devin's been gone for 2 weeks, so why shouldn't I? My first date was with this hotshot lawyer named Drew. He seemed perfect, ambitious, spontaneous, everything Devin isn't. We met at this trendy wine bar downtown, the kind Devin would say was overpriced. Drew was totally into me, he couldn't take his eyes off me all night. Then he asked about my relationship status. I tried to play it cool, and said I was technically married, but separated. You should have seen how fast his expression changed. He went from charming to cold in seconds and said something about not wanting to be that guy. I tried explaining that Devin and I were basically done anyway, but he just asked for the check. Turns out he'd been through a divorce where his ex-wife cheated. Whatever, his loss. The next guy seemed more promising. He didn't ask as many questions, and we had this amazing chemistry. After our third date, he invited me back to his place. It felt good to feel wanted again, to feel that excitement. But the next morning, he got weird when I mentioned meeting up again, and said he wasn't looking for anything complicated. Translation: he got what he wanted. My friend Taylor convinced me to try this dating app that's supposed to be more upscale. That's where I met Michael. He's in finance, drives a Tesla, total upgrade from Devin's sensible SUV. We went out a few times, and I started imagining this glamorous future, fancy parties, expensive trips, the life I always wanted. Then he ghosted me after seeing Devin's family photos still on my Instagram. The worst part. Devin's not even struggling like he's supposed to be. Madison let it slip that he's been hanging out with this girl from his office, Rachel. Apparently, she's some kind of project manager who likes rock climbing, and actually understands his engineering talk. She's younger than me too, barely 28. Madison tried to backtrack when she saw my face, but the damage was done. I downloaded Tinder last night after too much wine, and started swiping through guys, who all looked like they could be exciting, and could make me feel alive again. But after an hour, I realized something depressing: they're all starting to blur together. None of them would know how I like my coffee in the morning or remember that I'm allergic to lies or know exactly what to say when I'm stressed about work. This isn't how it was supposed to go. I was supposed to find someone better, someone who could give me that spark I had with Jace. Instead, I'm getting ghosted by guys who probably still live with roommates while Devin's out there acting like our marriage meant nothing. He's even going to office happy hours now. He used to say those were a waste of time. Devin served me divorce papers yesterday, not through a lawyer or anything dramatic. He just showed up at the house with a manila envelope and his stupid calm expression. Rachel was waiting in the car. I could see her through the window, all cute and athletic in her hiking clothes, probably getting ready for another one of their weekend adventures. The same ones I used to call boring when Devin suggested them. He tried to be nice about it, said we could do this amicably and split everything fairly. That's Devin, always trying to be the good guy. I asked him if Rachel was better in bed than me, if she was worth throwing away 3 years of marriage. He just looked at me with this mix of pity and exhaustion and said, "This isn't about Rachel, this is about you never really being in our marriage." The thing that really gets me. Everyone's acting like he's some kind of hero for finally standing up for himself. Madison actually told me I should be grateful he's not trying to ruin me in the divorce given what I said about him at the party. Even my mom's on his side, saying she hopes I learn something from this. Learn what? That men can't handle a woman who knows what she wants. I ran into them last weekend at our favorite breakfast spot. Well, what used to be our spot. Rachel was wearing his old college sweatshirt, the one I used to sleep in, and they were sharing the Sunday crossword puzzle, something I never had the patience for. Devin looked happy, not the safe, comfortable kind of happy he was with me, actually happy. He didn't even seem bothered when he saw me, just nodded, and went back to their conversation. I tried texting Jace that night feeling nostalgic, or maybe just desperate. His wife replied this time telling me to stop reaching out. Apparently they're expecting their second kid. She ended the message with, "I hope you find peace," like I'm some charity case who needs their pity. So here I am, 32, soon to be divorced, and apparently undateable according to most guys in this city. Devin's already moved on. Jace has his perfect family, and I'm scrolling through dating apps at 2 a.m., trying to find someone who makes me feel the way I felt back when everything seemed possible. The worst part isn't that I lost Devin. It's that I can't even blame him anymore, but I still do because it's easier than admitting that maybe, just maybe, I had everything I wanted, and was too busy looking for something better to notice.